Others have dealt with a lot of the substance of the objections to these regulations. But just to say that the point about the lack of respect is a very important one in relation to teachers, school governors, parents, elected representatives from Northern Ireland. There have been many representations from all communities in Northern Ireland and from those sectors in particular about how badly treated they feel. So the lack of respect in relation to the way in which this policy has been driven is the responsibility collectively of the Northern Ireland office, although I think there's a particular lack of respect and, I have to say, arrogance on the part of the Secretary of State himself personally, both for the way in which he publicly has dismissed criticism and the way in which he did so at the committee in the other place the other day. And I think the words of the noble Lord Hay, who is not given to hyperbole or stinging criticism, a mild-mannered colleague, should be taken on board by the Northern Ireland office, because there is a feeling that the current Secretary of State has cost himself a lot in terms of credibility with the attitude and the way in which he goes about matters, and it's not helpful. And I certainly do not ascribe the same criticism to the Minister from the Northern Ireland office that we have with us in this committee today, who has demonstrated, I think, across a number of issues on which we disagree, a commendable willingness to engage and to discuss and to have dialogue. And we may not always agree, but we certainly have found it very productive. I just want to say very briefly that the criticisms that have been outlined by the Secondary Legislation Scrutiny Committee in its 44th report are very strong criticisms, and I commend the committee for its work. And I think that the Minister in his reply would do well to go through each of these criticisms one by one and give a detailed explanation and answer to this committee as to the accusations that have been levelled against the government in that Secondary Legislation Scrutiny Committee report. It merits serious consideration and serious answer. These are not trivial or small issues. And finally, my Lords, I want to raise the issue of the explanatory memorandum in relation to these regulations. The explanatory memorandum at 12.2 says that there is no significant impact on the public sector. In 12.3, however, it goes on to say that an impact on the public sector is expected, as the Department will come under a duty to issue guidance, etc. It then goes on to say that the exact impact will depend on decisions taken during the planning of delivering on the guidance. Furthermore, schools will be under a legal duty to deliver the updated curriculum. So having contradicted itself in 12.3 compared to 12.2, the explanatory memorandum goes on in 12.4 then to reverse itself once again by saying a full impact assessment has not been prepared for this instrument, as no significant impact on the private, voluntary or public sector is foreseen. It then has little words free text added in, which is clearly a typo. So whoever, and there's also a typo in 12.3, so whoever drew up this explanatory memorandum, I think that it should certainly have been looked at slightly more closely by whoever signed off on it. And I'd like an explanation from the Minister as to what those paragraphs 12.2, 12.3 and 12.4 mean, because they are contradictory. Thank you.